Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Just going to bring you this quick update. I've decided to reveal to you what I did to cure that off-idle bog. A buddy of mine reached out to me, so just going to share with you guys what I did. Right now I have the bike warming up. I was doing some tweaks on it, unrelated to this video, but yeah, just gonna let it warm up, and in a minute I'm gonna go into my lab and I'm gonna show you what I did to the carbs to basically cure that off-idle bog. Warming up, I did the suspension on both forks. I installed the Race Tech kit in my O2, the Race Tech gold valve compression valving kit, and in this bike it has the 20 millimeter Olin's universal valving kit. Ran this a couple of seasons on the track, and it worked good. It held up. But I recently bought some donor forks because the stanchion tubes had got some corrosion on it. But all is good now, and both bikes are pretty much track day capable. So I'm looking forward to the riding season. But while this is warming up, actually I guess it's pretty warm. You can see I'm a lot more aggressive with that throttle. And if you notice, I've got a Motion Pro Revolver quick turn throttle kit installed, and this isn't a plug and play kit. This wasn't something that Motion Pro made for the bike. This is something I rigged up and put together. And this Motion Pro Revolver, it's the original kit that they use. This was for ZX10, and what I did was I reached out to Motion Pro and I had some custom cables made with a custom length so that it fits into the FLATSLIDE carbs. And as you can see, I got it routed back here behind the brake hose, underneath the tank here, and directly into the airbox where I cut that hole. If you're not familiar with my build, just go back a couple of videos where I was showing you the airbox update. This kill switch is not a ZX7R kill switch. This kill switch is from a ZX14, and I cut the wire off of the stock one so that it works with the harness, and everything else was plug and play right there, the brake light sensor and so on. So Motion Pro Revolver from, I think it was a first or second gen ZX10 with the ZX14 kill switch and custom cables. I may get a part number generated for these cables if any of you guys are interested, but they don't sell these kits anymore. They sell what's called a Rev 2. So I'll probably be doing one, a custom set for the Rev 2 in the future, and maybe I'll put it on the O2. We'll have to see. I have another set of FLATSLIDEs that I'll probably be installing on this bike, and I'll rig that up to work with the stock airbox. So now for the fun part, I'm going to show you what I did to cure that bogging when you get aggressive with the throttle. This is where all the magic is done. Let me just move these cables out of the way. As you can see, I got an Akasato master cylinder that I'll be installing in the near future. And let me get this Renthal hand grip out of the way. I'm always working, so. All right, here's what we did. So, FCR41s are famous for their bog. Now, if you've worked on flat slide carbs before, you know that on the motocross bikes, you can cure the bog by installing a leak jet, which is inside of the float bowls. They usually go to a smaller leak jet. So if there's a 70, they'll put a 40 in it, or they'll put a 30 in it. In some cases, they'll even plug that leak jet completely. However, for these flat slides, there's no leak jet. There's just a hole in the float bowl, and actually three of the leak jet holes are actually plugged in this. So you can't control the timing of the accelerator pump with the leak jet. And then in this one with the accelerator pump, there's a hole at a fixed width. I don't really know what it is, but the question is, how do you adjust the timing of the accelerator pump? Because that's really where the magic is. And the answer is this little rod right here, that little linkage rather. And as you can see, right behind it, there's a rod in there. You can see it, into a little plunger material. And when you turn it, when you twist the throttle, I'm gonna twist it. You can't see me twisting it, but notice what it's doing there. See how it's moving? There's a little rubber piece moving that linkage. Now, the Kawasaki race kit manual says that there were 3 recommended settings: 0.6 millimeters, 1.2 millimeters, and I believe the other one was 1.8 millimeters. So there's 0.6 millimeters difference, and it showed a graph where it's affected. Now, by default, this gap, and I've already compressed it a little bit, that little gap, you see it? That gap by default is about 3 millimeters wide. And so you need to adjust it because your accelerator pump will come in very late. All right, volume is not affected by tweaking this, only the timing. And so by taking a pair of needle nose pliers, I mean, that's what I did, and just kind of closing it, right now it's probably about 1.5 millimeters, maybe 2 millimeters, which is still too much, but these carbs aren't on the bike. And just closing that gap down, you basically cause the timing of the accelerator pump to actually become more advanced. So you're making it early, it shoots early, and that's what you want. You want it to come as soon as you start to open that throttle. Now, why can't you close this completely? Well, that's not going to work, and the reason for that is that if you close it all the way, the accelerator pump will come in way too early, and the fuel that shoots into the venturi will actually hit off of the slides that you see in there. So you can kind of, you see the accelerator pump, that little copper nozzle? If that starts shooting so fast, the fuel will hit that slide before it goes up, and then you'll just make a big mess in your airbox. And that's why you can't close it all the way. So you have to play with this thing and try a couple of settings. Now, 0.6 millimeters, that 0.5 millimeter roughly, or just a little more than half, I mean, that will make it shoot very early. I mean, that's barely any visible gap there. I like 1 millimeter to 1.2 millimeters, and that was enough for my application to clear the bog. It's so funny because a lot of people don't even know this little linkage exists. I didn't know. I didn't really know what that was for. And I was scared to bend it. It's, you know, once you bend it, I mean, it gets messy quick, and it's hard to bend back and so on. I was scared to touch it, to be quite frankly, guys. But that's how you cure the off-idle lean bog on the FLATSLIDE 41s. I wasn't going to reveal it, but you know what? Whatever. You know, I made my channel to help guys out. So that's how you fix it. Now, with that said, right, with that said, you need to make sure that your pilot jet and your fuel screw are set perfectly. So before you even touch that, you want to make sure that your bike idles fine, does not stall when it gets hot from a rich condition, and it does not stall when you take off from a stop after the bike is fully warmed up. And here's why. Some people will let their bike idle, and they'll set the idle, and then they think that, okay, because the bike idles fine, it's good to go. But what happens is, right, you're not supposed to set your idle until after you come back for a ride, because the hotter the bike gets, the richer it runs. You need to ride the bike 10 minutes, come back, then set your idle. Then make sure you have the correct pilot jet and the correct fuel screw settings. If you can take off cleanly from a stop by opening the throttle gently without stalling after you've been riding for 10 to 15 minutes, then suffice to say your pilot circuit is set correctly. Then you play with this circuit here, and you can get aggressive with the throttle after tweaking the accelerator pump linkage. But do not touch this until after your pilot jet and your fuel screws have been set correctly, and the only way to do that is after you've ridden the bike for 10 to 15 minutes and have gotten it completely hot. If your pilot circuit is good, then move on to the accelerator pump, and that's assuming all your other jetting is correct, right? You start with your mains, then your needles, and then your pilot circuit is last. I mean, that's how I've been taught, okay? And so that's really it, guys. Get your pilot circuit good, then play with the accelerator pump timing. You do that with this linkage here. The settings in the Kawasaki Race Kit manual, just for reiteration, is 0.6, then 1.2 millimeters, and then I believe it's 1.8 millimeters. And each setting will determine how early in the throttle application the accelerator pump squirts. So that is the secret, guys. And I'm gonna head right back outside to the bike, let you see it one more time, and hope you guys enjoy tuning your flat slide carbs. Let's go back outside. And there you have it, guys. That's how you cure the bog, and that's how you keep up with some of the modern bikes. So hope you're enjoying the content, guys, and hope you guys are finding these vids very useful when you tune your old school bikes. So I'm gonna tidy up a couple of things on these bikes, put them away, and very soon I'm going to be doing a video on the Ninja H2, and in that video I'm going to be addressing how to properly install the blow-off valve. I get a lot of questions on how to properly install the blow-off valve, and even though my install is done, I'm going to pull the tank out, and I'm going to just show you how mine looks on the inside. Just so you guys can see how you are supposed to properly route all of the hoses, and that should clear up a lot of questions on the blow-off valve. It seems to be becoming a more and more popular modification, and so I'm going to show you guys how to do that properly, and hopefully you guys will benefit from that video. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you're really enjoying the content, and I'm definitely going to be doing some more videos in the future. We're definitely going to be doing putting this thing through its paces on the track, and I'm going to take a visit to my buddy's shop, get the sag set, dial in some good settings, and that's it, man. We're going to get it popping out there this season. So that's it for now. Stay tuned for future updates. Till next time.